What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dana White forced to cancel UFC Abu Dhabi co-main event. While Movsar Evloev would likely have been next in line for a crack at the featherweight title with a win over Aaron Pico, the streaking contender has now been forced out of the fight. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. On Monday, Red Corner MMA shared an update on the situation, indicating that Evloev's withdrawal was due to, quote, an injury or health condition he sustained during fight camp in Thailand. According to a social media user, the UFC is considering pushing the bout back a month and rebooking it for the UFC 319 card in August. Additionally, former UFC fighter Sadyokov Pakramanov, who many fans felt was unfairly released by the UFC, offered to step in for Evloev on short notice. In a post on Monday, he simply wrote, "Give me Pico at 145. Considering we've seen the UFC bring back fighters on short notice to act as fill-in fighters, there may be a chance that Kakramanov winds up being back in the octagon, following his dirty boxing win over Alex Caceres last month, which pushed his post-UFC record to 6-0 with 3 karate combat wins and 2 MMA wins on top of his dirty boxing victory." Dustin Poirier talks about ending career without a UFC championship. While Dustin Poirier has had a stellar UFC career, the one thing missing on the Diamond's resume is an undisputed title. Ahead of his final fight, Poirier reflected on his career and what it feels like to walk away without an undisputed title while speaking to the New York Post.
I did everything I could to become undisputed champ. I put myself in position multiple times to get my hand raised and win that belt in the UFC, and just fell short, just got beat by really good guys, made mistakes, and it is what it is. That's life. That's my story. I wouldn't change anything. I'm proud of the work that I put in. I'm proud of the things I've accomplished and the life that I've made for me and my family. It is what it is.
Ahead of the fight, Michael Bisping expressed his excitement for the trilogy bout in a video for his YouTube channel, saying, "When you look at them both, they're both great strikers. I don't think we're going to see any wrestling out of this. They're both going toe-to-toe. They're going to throw down. It's going to be absolutely sensational. It's going to be tremendous, and it'll be the final time we get to see Dustin Poirier compete inside the octagon. But I don't know if he's going to be the winner." Listen, never doubt Dustin Poirier, but never doubt Max Holloway. Yes, Max Holloway was just knocked out against Ilia Topuria, so that could present some problems for him. That could have weakened the chin. Sometimes people get cracked, they get knocked out, and they're never the same again. Or it could have lit a fire under his and he's like, you know what? I'm going to show the people. I'm coming to Louisiana to whoop some. And honestly, at this point, I don't know which way it's going down. When Poirier and Holloway share the octagon on Saturday, Joe Rogan won't be commentating. Despite the pay-per-view taking place in the United States, Rogan will be replaced on the broadcast by Paul Felder. As Josh Thompson indicated on social media, Rogan could simply be choosing to attend as a fan. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe is there to watch Dustin fight one last time with his boy Theo. I actually enjoy watching one of the greatest fighters ever wrap up his career with his friends. Considering the magnitude of the main event, Rogan will almost certainly be watching, regardless of whether he's in attendance. Paulo Costa planning on calling out Khamzat Chimaev after UFC 318 fight. Heading into UFC 318, Paulo Costa is ranked 13th at 185, and from the sounds of things, he's eager to climb the middleweight ladder as fast as possible. Ahead of his fight with Roman Kopylov, Costa has made it clear that with a win, he'll be calling out Khamzat Chimaev. While speaking with Ariel Helwani on his show on Monday, he spoke about the upcoming DDP Chimaev fight, saying that although he's unsure who will win, he knows he wants to fight Chimaev. "This son of a I want to fight this guy, win or lose. I want to fight that Chimaev. It has to happen. I'm focused on Chimaev," Costa said. "I will call his name after this fight if God gives me this victory. I will call his name after this fight if God gives me this victory. I will call his name. I'm going to call this son of a for a fight. He needs to fight me. I need to fight him. I've tried to fight him for a long time, since we had a beef inside the UFC PI, and he's been avoiding fighting me for a long time. He always says no, and UFC has tried to put this match together for a long time. Like 2 years ago, they always say, okay, Chimaev says no. He don't want to fight you. He wants to fight anybody at 185 pounds, but he doesn't want to fight you. Then they couldn't finish the deal, and I got the surgery on my elbow. So in that week, he sent a message for my girl, Tamara. He acted like a woman. He said some bad something like, I'm going to be your husband and I'm going to do bad things, but he said for her and not for me." Given that his sights are set on a fight with Chimaev, Costa is expecting an easy night at the office on Saturday when he faces off with Roman Kopylov. "This is a very important win for me. This is a great matchup. I like the matchup because he's striker, he's southpaw. I know he's dangerous. He has good kicks and a good straight left hand, but I'm very prepared for that, and I'm excited and happy with this fight. I think he can bring a great fight for everyone. I think this fight is going to be short. I think this is going to be 2 guys looking for a finish. I will be there to finish this fight since the very minute." As Costa went on to explain, he's eager to turn back the clock and put on a vintage performance using his pressure. I just feel I needed a new refresh, be connected with my old style, that style to chase, to be more aggressive, to bring back the power of the old days. With a win, Costa would snap a 2-fight skid that's seen him go winless since 2022. Tony Ferguson talks about losing to Jon Jones in college by 1 point. Recently, Tony Ferguson appeared on a podcast where he revealed that he wrestled against Jon Jones in college. Tony revealed that he moved up 2 weight classes to take on the fight, and ultimately it came down to just 1 point. Here's what Tony had to say on the podcast.
I wrestled Jon Jones in college. I lost by 1 point.
You wrestled?
With
Jon Jones?
I lost by 1 point. I bumped up 2 weight classes.
Wow.
And I because our 184 pounder got hurt, and I won nationals at 165. I jumped up 2 weight classes, and I was weighing in at 175 pounds and wrestling these guys cutting from 200 to 185. And I took 3rd at nationals that year. And I wrestled Jon Jones at the Cliff Key National Duels, and I lost by 1 point. Almost beat him.
Wow, great.
So every time we talk to each other, we always mess around. He grabbed my glasses one time. He says, "You won't get these back." I said, "You want to wrestle?" And he said, "No, here you go."
Renato Moicano and Dana White praise Ilia Topuria. Although Ilia Topuria now holds the UFC's lightweight crown, not everyone is convinced that El Matador could defeat Islam Makhachev at 170 pounds. One man who believes Topuria could make history and win a 3rd division's title is Renato Money Moicano. For months now, there's been talk about Topuria and Makhachev fighting at some point. While it remains to be seen if Makhachev will defeat Jack Della Maddalena to win that division's belt, and if Topuria remains the lightweight champion, talk about them fighting continues. Case in point, recently, Moicano had this to say about Topuria during the Real MMA Today podcast.
I think Topuria would beat Islam Makhachev. That's my opinion. That's what I think. And I hope UFC let him move up and fight. That would be amazing. 45 champion, 55 champion, and then 170. That's amazing. I think if he does that, he will be the greatest of all time. So it's a great time to be alive and to see and to be a UFC fan.
A few things have to fall into place before Makhachev and Topuria throw a hand, but if and when they do, it's going to be massive. Now, recently, Dana White was also singing the praises of Topuria. During the Full Send podcast, the UFC CEO had this to say when he was asked if he initially saw Topuria becoming a star.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until it plays out, and then calling the round, calling how he's going to do it, and doing it to the guys that he's done it to is unbelievable. Volk, Holloway, and now Charles.
Topuria's been on a historic run, no question, but do you think he can hang with the elite welterweights and win yet another UFC belt? Alex Pereira should have never become UFC champ. While Alex Pereira had an impressive light heavyweight run that saw him defend the title 3 times, Magomed Ankalaev's manager Ali Abdelaziz believes that his run was orchestrated by the UFC. During an episode of Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo's Pound for Pound show, the former champion explained that Ankalaev, much like Kamaru Usman, should have been champion several years earlier than he actually was. Alex Pereira was engineered. UFC has some of the best matchmakers in the world. They have the best minds like you. Usman, you should have been a champion 3 fights before you fought for the title. It was engineered not to get you there because of your style of fighting. It's Ankalaev's time. It should have been Ankalaev's time. Hunter Campbell, McMaynard, all of the UFC, they was all sandbagging him. They knew he was coming and they was praying he'd lose. I think Alex is a good fighter. I think he's a real fighter. He's alive, but in a way, Ankalaev should have been champion 2-3 years ago. Alex would have never been a champion. And I'll tell you something again, if they fight again, and they will fight again probably in October, it's going to be worse for Alex. Now, Ankalaev has the confidence. He understands. Pereira was a scary guy touching people and knocking them out, but he fought a whole bunch of mediocre strikers. None of these guys was a high-level striker. Ankalaev, he can wrestle, he can grapple, and he can strike. Ankalaev is more of a striker than a grappler, and we've seen he hurt him in a fight. Alex didn't hurt him. Based on the timeline given by Ali, it sounds like we could see the two throw down on either the UFC 320 card in Vegas or UFC 321 card in Abu Dhabi. As we're on the topic of Alex Pereira, recently he released a video showing that he weighs 243 pounds right now. Dana White talks about the challenges for UFC White House. Recently, US President Donald Trump raised eyebrows when he announced the UFC is planning to host a card on the White House grounds, and that as many as 25,000 people could be in attendance. Well, a lot of people seem surprised to hear that estimate, and based on recent comments that Dana White made about this event, he also isn't expecting a crowd of that size. During an appearance on the Full Send podcast, White had this to say about the highly anticipated event.
Tons of challenges. First of all, I don't even know how many people can get in, not to mention the fact that Secret Service isn't going to let a lot of people come do this. Everybody's going to have background checks. So yeah, whoever actually gets to be there live, it will be such a unique, amazing experience in their lifetime to be able to go to this fight. And for us, when you think about when the fight is going on, while the fight's happening and we're filming, one whole side of the backdrop will be the White House, and then the other side will be the Washington Monument. So it's just, it's so unique, so bad, and so once ever, like you said.
Of course, even if only a few hundred people are in attendance, it's still going to be a historic card. Do you see there being a lot of people in attendance at this White House event? And who do you want to see fight? BKFC will go out of business over $25 million tournament. Last week, Conor McGregor and BKFC announced a $25 million open weight tournament, which will see the winner paid $15 million. While the event has quickly become a major talking point in the combat sports community, Josh Thompson thinks that the tournament will wind up bankrupting the promotion. During the latest episode of he and Big John McCarthy's Weighing In podcast, the punk weighed in. Way too much money. If you're trying to keep yourself in business, $10 million would have been enough. Even 5 would have been enough. You could have done 5 of these events. One a year for $5 million, you could have done it. But instead, you went $25 million. And you guys may go out of business after this. But I guess it's exciting for the fighters that are involved. You get an opportunity to win $25 million. It doesn't make any sense. Big John McCarthy echoed a similar sentiment, saying that a $5 million tournament would have been enough. The tournament is set to begin in March of 2026. However, no official date has been set for the start. MMA community reacts to Dustin Poirier's insane body transformation. Dustin Poirier looks ripped ahead of his fight against Max Holloway at UFC 318. Dustin was recorded while working out, and his physique looks like he's in better shape than he's been in a long time. His core is much thinner and more toned than we've seen him in previous fight camps. This will be the last time we ever see Dustin go through a full camp, and he's clearly embracing that, and his physique shows it. The MMA community had a lot to say about Dustin's physique, with some writing, "You can't determine a winner solely based on how the two athletes look going into the fight, but if you did, my boy Blessed is in a lot of trouble. He looks terrible this week, and Diamond looks like he's in the best shape of his life. Has bro ever been in shape this good? Damn. He looks small like a featherweight. How these dogs get that lean and fit at that age? Most people having a little bit of that fame and money would be lazing around reminiscing. LOL. Looks tiny and weak to me. He's so locked in, it's gonna be sad to see him get knocked out. Still gonna lose to Max, bookmark this. This Poirier finishes Ilia in the first round. He looks like a featherweight. Holy got lean. Lean Dustin looking to cook. I think the UFC let him roid up for this one because it's his last. I can tell he's on PEDs. Oh my god, Max is absolutely dude. Imagine when he gets on the juice after he finishes fighting. Holloway's looking done while Poirier looks like this. Not looking good for Max. Wow, he doesn't resemble a fridge this time. What are your thoughts on UFC 318 and who do you see winning the main event? Let us know in the comments below. We have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.